Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to 12 and a half minutes Elevator's brand new digital channel. This is a new format that we're using, so I just need to kill. There we go. I was having a little bit of feedback. Sorry about that. And welcome everyone to 12 and a half minutes Elevator's brand new digital broadcast. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and every Friday we will be giving you your weekly hit of hope, information and inspiration. My name is Andy Campbell, and each week I'll be joined by trailblazers, adventurers, heroes from all different walks of life. All you need to do is grab your favourite cuppa. I've got mine's already, and it's tea in case anyone is asking. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. However, I would absolutely love for you to get involved, and you can do that by simply adding a comment on Facebook or adding a comment on YouTube, and we'll be able to see those comments and we'll be able to pick them up and take them to our guest. So without further ado, today I'll be spending the next 12 and a half minutes with Professor Gary McEwan, recognised by many as a serial entrepreneur and winner of the prestigious Queen's Award for Enterprise. Gary is Professor of Entrepreneurship at the University of Dundee, and more importantly, he is Chief Executive of Elevator since 2012. So I'm now going to bring Gary in, and Gary, can you see and hear us okay?
I can hear you fine, Andy.
Oh, fantastic. New technology this week. Fingers crossed it works okay. Myself and Gary, and we'll dig into questions obviously shortly, but myself and Gary have known each other for many years. And the truth is that, you know, what Gary doesn't know about entrepreneurship is not worth knowing about. So it's great to see you here, Gary. Thank you for joining us. And I think, first of all, I have to comment on the lockdown beard, Gary. Looking fantastic.
Yeah, first time ever with any sort of facial hair. We're on day 32, so it's a combination of quite liking it and it's driving me nuts too. So we'll see if it lasts.
Well, thanks for joining us, Gary. It'd be really great to start off the 12 and a half minutes by, I guess, introducing yourself. I mean, many folk will know you Elevator, but it's great to get you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit of background. Tell us about the work that you do at Elevator, but perhaps importantly, your approach to entrepreneurship. So over to you, Gary.
Sure. So Andy, I was never the academic type. School didn't really ever suit me. So I came from an entrepreneurial family. It seemed pretty obvious that I was going to follow in that sort of footstep, although my family didn't really ever get too far with their travel. So it seemed I was destined to move into business like immediately after leaving school. And so over the next few decades, and I think we've known each other that long, I've tried loads of things. I think we both have. Some things work, some things don't. You just have to try and move on and try something until it kind of does work. I'm thankful that I've probably had more things that have worked than haven't. But that's just part of being an entrepreneur, I think. There did come a point in time, though, when the seesaw tilted slightly more in favour of, I really wanted to do things that I enjoyed doing, and what I was really enjoying was sort of sharing my experiences with other entrepreneurs and trying to help other people achieve. And so it was probably about 2004 or something like that, I decided to do less of my own entrepreneurship and try and apply it in support of others. And so I've been running Elevator since 2008, so that's about nearly 12 years. It's a social enterprise with just one mission, which is to support the entrepreneurs of today and tomorrow. They're young people, they're old people, whoever wants to give this a go, we want to support them. And in doing that, we work with around 3,000 businesses every year, which is pretty awesome. As a social enterprise, we exist only for that purpose. We don't have a huge amount of shareholders trying to make money. So it's a nice place to be. It's just all about helping people. I always have believed that entrepreneurship is a thing that can be taught which is not something that everybody takes on board, but it's a learnable skill. And I think if you've got the experience and you've been through process before, it's almost incumbent on you for you to share that enthusiasm and passion and experience with other people and help them maybe not make some of the mistakes that you've made in the past. I do believe also that if you're a very self-aware entrepreneur, then you will actually seek out that guidance from other people and not act in isolation, because this very much is I see entrepreneurship as a team game. Some people see it as a solo effort, but to me, the best successes come from an individual realizing that they can't do what they do without a team, and they need a team of people around them to be able to bring the best out in them. And so in Elevator, we've created this dynamic social enterprise that's helping people to start and grow companies all over the country in quite a big way. But I guess right now with COVID, it's been more about helping businesses just simply to survive, because right now that is the name of the game. So hope that gives you a little bit of an insight in.
I know that's fantastic, Gary, and I think just picking up on that very last point, companies all over are going through a rather challenging time, and the fantastic staff that we have at Elevator are probably seeing, they are effectively the front line in dealing with the challenges that the businesses are facing. So it would be good to get your thoughts and views on the challenges that businesses are facing and the type of support that we provide, but perhaps most importantly, where the resilience message is in that from yourself, Gary.
Yeah, resilience is, I tuned in last week and heard Bill Ollett talking about antifragility, which is, it's just, I guess it's another way of putting resilience. It's such an important personality trait to have, not just I think in business life, but in everyday life, because we're all faced with challenges all the time. But for entrepreneurs to be at their tip top, they need to be thinking, clearly, and that's not easy when you're experiencing low points, which I guess many people are right now, because the effect can be really damaging when an entrepreneur who needs to be tip top is not acting at tip top. It can almost start an uncontrollable roll downwards, which is quite overwhelming for many people in business. I've been there. In fact, I've recounted my old sort of story when I was one of my very first businesses. I'd simply converted an old ambulance into being a mobile pet shop of all things. And I'd poured everything into that business. It was just a tiny business. I poured everything into it, and then it was literally taken away from me quite literally overnight. And I remember thinking at the time, things cannot get any worse than this. I have reached the bottom of the hill. Where exactly do I go from here? But it's just that when things get like that you start to believe that other people are putting the boot in just to make things even worse, as if they don't know how much you're suffering as it is. But I suppose what you learn, I think, over time and experience is that all you can do is keep smiling, keep going, and at some point you'll come out the other end of it. And the real bonus, I think, for resilience is that when you project forward in time and then look back at those experiences, you don't always look back the same way as you felt at the time. I look back at that and think, actually, that was a good thing that happened to me there, because I might still be running a pet shop in Castlemilk in Glasgow, had it not been for that really terrible event. But it's not so terrible when you look back on it. So hopefully that's the good kicker you get with resilience.
Yeah, and I think, business in its normal course, and the work that we do with cohorts and entrepreneurs that come through, business is a challenge, and there will be really, really difficult times that you have to face. And it's difficult to get that perspective, isn't it, to be able to take that step back and not see the challenge that you're facing right there and then, but be able to take that step back and see that bigger picture. And it's usually, as you say, the sort of passing of time that you can look back and realise that it actually earned you your stripes. It was able to give you. So it is about trying to, and as much as it's going to be hard for people out there, it's about trying to see that whatever they're going through right now will be positive. And on to that very point then, Gary, opportunity. Is this now the time for opportunity?
It may not look like it when your head's down a little bit, which I guess most people's heads must be down right now because nothing's quite going the way that it's supposed to be. So the natural reaction is to kind of look downwards, but it's actually times like this that do present opportunity. It's when we work with new companies who are just getting off and running, the hardest thing for them to do is to break into a market, because whatever they're trying to do, somebody's already doing it. There's already a consumption chain that has emerged over many years, and it's matured to a point when there's lots of businesses in a chain that all work with one another, and you're trying to elbow your way into that. And these chains are very difficult to break into because the people in them don't tend to want you in them, because it usually means if somebody's in, somebody's getting punted out.
Yeah.
And so it's difficult unless you've got an absolutely, tech busting answer. It's really hard. But what's happening right now with COVID is that this will adversely affect so many businesses that these consumption chains will start to, they're already in meltdown, many of them. So you don't even have to work hard in the upturn of this. There's going to be lots of gaps to be filled with businesses that just didn't make it. And so while this is a very bad situation, we need to take care of our health and we need to take care of our families. I reckon the most astute entrepreneurs are having one eye on what's coming their way, because I think opportunity is going to abound as we start to turn the corner on this.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, to your point on consumption chains, you're absolutely correct. Being able to identify where those gaps are, and companies can sometimes disrupt them, but it's really the environment and the situation that we're in that's disrupting those chains. So great advice there, Gary. I guess as we start to near the end of our time, and 12 and a half minutes goes incredibly quickly, but Elevator, we talk about the being brave, be brave. And we also talk about the entrepreneur's mindset. Now, I think you, more than anyone, will know exactly the type of mindset that it takes to be an entrepreneur, that it takes to be brave. So I'd be really keen to hear your thoughts on the type of mindset advice that you would be able to give our listeners and viewers in terms of the type of approach they should have in moving forward.
Yeah, it's a tagline we've adopted for a while, was be brave, because, bravery is such a... entrepreneurs are very different, really, from the majority of people. They see the world differently. They undertake things that no normally sane person would sometimes do. So they're probably a bit bonkers, but they're definitely brave without question, and they have a determination to succeed quite often, which is... and however they measure success. So it's a trait that they have to continue to build. But right now, it's, we're in a situation where you're having to dig really deep just to try and find the bravery to just get through this, to still have a business at the end of it. And so there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, applying every ounce of bravery just to staying alive right now. There'll be plenty of time at the other end to drive it forward. But I suppose I always think that the bravery you need to go into business is surpassed by the bravery sometimes that it takes to get out of business. And so there'll be a lot of people that will be kind of wondering whether they should, stop for a while and or pause or change direction. And those are very tough decisions because you've kind of built up such a momentum and it's hard to reverse it. That's when you need to engage with other entrepreneurs or advisors through Elevator and get third-party guidance with stuff like that, because those are tough decisions to make.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got some comments coming in on Facebook and YouTube as well, which is great. I'm just going to pop one on the screen there from Gloria, who I think was one of our Murray founders. But there's a comment there you can quite clearly see Gloria using the time to think about how she grows her resilience within her business. So lots of great comments out there. Gary, I think we've pretty much finished the tea. We've got some great information from you. So just finally, Gary, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you when we're all back at Elevator HQ. But for now, Gary, thank you so much indeed. Thank you.
No problem. Stay safe.
Great. Well, thank you so much for Gary there to join in. We had Bill all last week, and Just a quick reminder to all of you that Elevator is at the heart of Scotland's entrepreneurial ecosystem, and we are here to support you. Our goal is very simple. It's to make you and your business a real success. So thank you so much for joining us. Next Friday, the 1st of May, can't believe we're in May already, but next week we will be spending 12.5 minutes with Myrtle Dawes, who is the Solutions Centre Director at the Oil and Gas Technology Centre. We will be streaming live on Facebook as always, and hopefully you've joined us on that format today, LinkedIn and YouTube. If I was to ask any favours, it's to follow us and like us, and if you're on YouTube, which is new for Elevator, please subscribe to our channel as well. So make sure you join us then, and in the meantime, have a great weekend and stay safe. Thank you very much indeed.